All right, co-main event keys to victory. So for Dovlet, look, he's got to dominate the center. He's the smaller of the two guys. Spinning kicks, we know he's lethal with those, and that's a good way of covering distance. And of course, mixing in his wrestling. He doesn't like to wrestle, but he can wrestle. This is the time when he should be wrestling. For Simeon Powell, fighting from a distance is obvious, the height and reach advantage that he has. But when he's under pressure, he's got to use elbows. He's got to be able to give something to deter his opponent. And then once he closes range, knees in the clinch to do the real damage.
Ladies and gentlemen, your co-main event is 3 rounds in the PFL Light Heavyweight Division. First, let's go to the blue corner to introduce a man with a record of 12 victories with only 2 defeats. He's got 9 finishes, including 6 knockouts. He weighed in at 204.6 pounds. This man was a 2023 PFL Europe Light Heavyweight finalist. He represents London, England. He is Simeon Powell. And across the cage in the red corner, he is a veteran of this cage with a record of 26-8-1, including 18 finishes. He weighed in at 205 pounds. This man was the 2024 PFL Light Heavyweight Tournament Champion. Representing Ashgabat, Turkmenistan, he is the Wolfhound, Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov.
He's got 26 pro wins. More wins, almost double the amount of wins that Powell has pro fights so far. The experience advantage clearly favors the smaller fighter here. I think the speed advantage also favors Dovlet. Could be an important part of this battle, Dan.
Definitely an important part of the battle. And another thing that Simeon identified with us earlier this week is that he's making a decided effort to be ready to start faster. Looking at his previous fights, he feels like there's a vulnerability there where fast-starting fighters can kind of catch him cold. And he doesn't want to have to take a shot to wake up in a fight. Certainly not one from Dovlet. Dovlet's just having a look right now, just seeing how Simeon's reacting. Sim's got to try not to give too much away. Try not to be too passive as well.
Out at this range, Simeon Powell should have a significant advantage. He has those extra 13 inches on the reach. But overcommitting could get him into some trouble. There's a sharp calf kick. Really the first technique landed here over a minute into the fight.
Yeah, really committed to that calf kick. And you can see how Dovlet's really switchy. Oh, here's his wrestling. Simeon with the takedown defense. He digs an underhook. He turns his opponent. You can really see the size difference of Simeon Powell here. And he's not like he's got skinny legs as well. He's really grown into his frame over these last couple of years. Dovlet looked to pitch that right hand over the top. Simeon was able to get his head out of the way. Sim's got to be cautious of that. He's going to need more feints to try and draw the attack.
Pecking away at each other's legs so far. Each man showing a lot of respect for the opposing power. There's that spinning kick. Drove it right into the midsection of Simeon Powell.
Yeah, good read by Simeon, though. He was able to get a forearm to block it. You don't want to take that to the midsection. We don't see back kick finishes very often in MMA, but when we do, they are devastating. There's the right hand again. Sim's got to start giving Dovlet something to make him more cautious, because at the moment, Yagshimuradov's just pitching whatever shots he wants.
Simeon Powell starting to show the jab. No commitment to it just yet.
Dovlet's going to look for the spinning kick again in a minute, but I think he's going to go spinning hook kick. I think he's going to go high. Now he's got Simeon reacting to that body kick, the back kick. He might be able to catch him off guard, changing the direction of the kick. Look how he's posturing the toes on his front foot.
He spins with a back fist instead, but accurate prediction from Dan Hardy. Knew that was coming. Simeon Powell thought about a takedown there, and that's something in the fighter meetings, Dan. He kind of winked at us and said, you might see something from me that you have not yet.
Yeah, and he really wasn't giving anything away either. I like that foot stomp. You know what's interesting here? Because Simeon's got the underhook, Dovlet's on his tiptoes with the overhook, which doesn't give him very good movement. Level change for Simeon. Can he get this takedown? This would be a huge statement for him.
He's got the hands together, and he does secure the takedown. Lands in the half guard and right into mount. Look at this. Good scramble from Dovlet to get out of that.
Oh! What a knee!
And it landed. Now the right hand's pummeling away. Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov on a knee trying to survive.
Dovlet's hurt, taking big shots.
Ate another right hand as he tried to turn back to face. Powell's got to be careful not to dump too much in that adrenaline-packed moment. That's where the veteran status of Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov can keep him alive even after getting in trouble.
Dovlet's going to be dazed. This is the time for Simeon to break. That elbow's coming, that right elbow, there it is.
Tried to hook right after, just glanced off the hair of Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov, who appears to have recovered from that flurry on the ground.
Simeon getting a read. That's a nice little high kick. Slaps him on the side of the face. Clearly Dovlet wasn't expecting it. Sim's got to be cautious getting backed up against the fence. That's where the spinning attacks come. Level change for Dovlet. Guillotine attempt.
And a big lift. Simeon Powell grabbed the top of the fence. The referee didn't see it.
Don't grab that cage.
That was a big lift. Just for a moment, Simeon wrapped the neck.
Final few seconds of round number one. After a slow start, they really heated it up in light heavyweight. Round two next.
Round two.
Kennedy Smith getting reports from the corners. Simeon Powell and Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov in our co-main event tonight. It'll be Brian Battle, Dalton Rasta to close here in Charlotte.
Now Sim's in a really interesting position because, I mean, on my scorecard, I don't even know how you'd see it any differently. For me, Simeon won that first round fairly solidly with that big flying knee.
Got the takedown as well. I mean, we are not the official judges, and the judges don't have access to our element stats, but Powell is ahead in all categories right now.
One thing that Simeon has to be cautious of, if he does take the fight to the floor again, it wasn't an accident Dovlet allowing mount to happen that quickly, because Dovlet loves a leg lock. So much easier to attack a leg lock if your opponent's in mount. Oh, that was a good uppercut. Dovlet.
Now, snatch single here for Dovlet.
Dovlet could be hurt again here. Might get his neck wrapped.
He does tend to wrestle after he gets dazed. A big lift again, and that's where the height and length of those Simeon Powell legs can be so advantageous for him. Even after all that effort in the lift, Sim just tiptoes back down.
You really have to throw his legs out to the side to get a takedown. This is a uncharacteristic of Dovlet, really, to be wrestling this hard. He doesn't really like wrestling, does he?
He ate another uppercut after the knee. Might be changing the game plan on the fly here because of the striking prowess on display from Simeon Powell.
Yeah, and Sim is on that wrist at the moment. He wants to separate this grip. Now he does it. Back to control the center for Sim. Dovlet's a bit flat-footed. He's going to be winging that right hand over the top if Sim's not cautious. You can see him posturing it. I think he's trying to slip counter the jab of Sim. Low kick from Powell, easily blocked by Dovlet. Here's the long jab.
Underutilized so far in this fight for Simeon Powell, respecting the explosive power of Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov, but you can see starting to get a little bit more comfortable with measuring the range here.
Sim's got to be cautious he doesn't lose momentum here and allow Dovlet to work his way back into this. He made such a good statement in that first round, but it could all change if Dovlet's able to catch him and hurt him, knock him down perhaps.
Good right hand there from Simeon Powell. Gonna have to build combinations rather than just pick apart one at a time. There's a good long searching hook.
Yeah, he's having a lot of success with his feints now as well. Every time he feints hard, Dovlet's looking at either slipping or level changing. Sim might be thinking about that knee again.
Thought he might turn on an elbow there, spinning elbow as he walked away and put Yagshimuradov on the chase. Charlotte fans starting to get restless over the slowed pace in round 2.
I think it's because we've had some absolute wars tonight so far. A tactical battle like this seems like it's not moving quite fast enough for these fans.
If you're just tuning in, our cage crew almost did too good of a job of cleaning up all the blood. This has been an absolutely insane night for cuts and damage.
Simeon's still looking for that guillotine. Every time Dovlet puts his head in the pocket, he wraps it just for a second, just to see if he can get a bite on the chin.
Final minute of round 2 now. Simeon Powell keeping Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov out of distance. There was that wheel kick you anticipated in round 1, Dan, but not much on it from Dovlet.
That long left hook's really effective for Simeon. He's feinted a jab a couple of times, man. Dovlet really commits to that right hand, but Sim's ducking out of the way a bit. Here we are, 30 seconds to go. A closer round, but still Simeon is having the better of these striking exchanges. That's a good sprawl, but look at the hustle on this takedown attempt.
Dovlet trying to steal the round with a takedown attempt. That's got to be encouraging for Simeon Powell. And now the mouthpiece for one of these fighters is out. Elbow coming from Simeon Powell. No, Dovlet pushes away. Tries a leaping hook in the final seconds of the second round.
Yeah, trying that gazelle hook to reach his tall opponent.
Stop.
Third and final here of a light heavyweight co-main event between Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov and Simeon Powell. Dovlet might need a finish here, Dan.
I think he does. I think he does. That was a slightly closer round for him, but I still feel like Simeon was able to win fairly comfortably on the scorecards in that last round. Dovlet's going to take some chances, and that's not really worked out for him so well thus far.
Kennedy Smith has a report from the Simeon Powell corner.
Yeah, between rounds, Simeon's corner is really just reiterating 2 things with him. Focus on knees and elbows. Those seem to be working on him, guys.
Thank you, Kennedy. Not bad advice, considering Dovlet's going to have to come crashing forward to make something happen. If Powell with those long limbs can intercept with knees or elbows.
Yeah, Sim's doing a good job of making Dovlet move forward, but he's got to keep putting something on the end of this movement, because if Dovlet starts to gain momentum with his movement, he's going to start throwing power shots. At the moment, Simeon's styling, and that's what's upsetting the crowd. That was a hard low kick blocked by Sim.
Style all you want, as long as there's offense involved. There's a searching hook from Simeon Powell, now a leg kick. Attacks the inside of the lead leg of Dovlet. I think that leg kick might have hurt.
Sim showing some feints, but Dovlet's going to uncork something powerful in a moment. Sim needs to find some offense here just to hold Dovlet up.
Especially if Powell allows himself to get drifted back into the cage. There's a good jab. Stomp kick to the lead leg.
Jab to the body there by Sim. Goes for the body kick. I'd like to see him pick his pace up though still. This is better by Sim. There's a big spin by Dovlet. You can always tell because he changes the position of his front foot. Digs the ball of his foot in to prepare himself to spin. That's a good cross.
Halfway through the third round, Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov having a hard time finding offense against a much taller and longer Simeon Powell. There's a leaping hook, forced to block. That one caught a ducking Simeon Powell will respond with a leg kick.
But we know that Dovlet's going to start taking some bigger chances. We're coming up to the last 2 minutes of this fight, and Sim's cruising here, but he's not doing a lot to threaten Dovlet. Kind of peppering him a little, but it's not enough to hold Yagshimuradov at bay. I think in these next 90 seconds, we're going to see Dovlet take some big risks. Really restless, this crowd here. Simeon dealing with the most dangerous opponent of his career so far. And knows as such as well. There's the guillotine attempt from Simeon.
Tried the knee. Dovlet shrugs off that neck control. Under 90 seconds.
Yeah, difficult with them both being so sweaty at this point. But it's still worth threatening Dovlet every time he level changes with that guillotine. It's been effective in forcing him to bail out. Here's a body lock attempt by Sim. Jabbing a low kick, searching lead hook for Dovlet, who's into his last minutes of work.
Tough situation right now for Simeon Powell. He's 40 or so seconds away from potentially the biggest win of his career. But also not fighting in an appealing style, which is going to be important for him to climb these rankings and force himself into the title contention picture.
Especially because we've had such a wild card so far. You know, these fans have been treated to some real scraps, the likes of the Lewis McGrillen fight. This is a far more tactical one. And I don't think Dovlet's taken as many risks as Simeon expected him to.
Simeon will let the footwork finish. And we'll go to the judges' scorecards in the co-main event.
Judge Brindle scored the fight 29-28, Yagshimuradov. Judge Varela scored the fight 30-27, Powell. And Judge Mason scored the fight 30-27 for your winner by split decision, Simeon "Smooth" Powell.
Click below to subscribe and watch more MMA content.